Hey everyone, Zane here from Acquirely. So in this video, I want to discuss the mindset behind outbound sales and client acquisition. This is really a mindset and frame that has changed my entire approach towards, over the last 5, 6, 7 years when it comes to client acquisition, and really why outbound marketing works, right? And really how it works on a fundamental first principle standpoint. So I want you to look at it this way, and I'm trying to keep this brief, right? I'm going to keep this brief and simple. I call it connection building. So essentially, we're just looking to build a connection. And this is, again, on a first principle standpoint. So first principles essentially means what happens on a fundamental level. How is value created? And where is the trust created? How is the trust built from the prospect or the potential client and you as the company, right? And really you as the individual from the company or whoever is representing the company. So in this case, the company is just the entity, right? And that can be a larger version of a human entity, which is a person. So basically, it works on providing value to the prospect, aka either another individual, or if you're in B2B, it's another business. So it's your entity serving value to another entity. That entity has desires and problems. And ultimately, if you can solve their problems or get them closer to their desires, then that is a value proposition in their perspective. If you were to reach out to that person, either person or entity, aka company, and your results that you have been able to achieve at the company serves as enough value for them, then naturally a connection is going to start to build. So at Acquirely, for example, what we do as our value proposition to other companies as a B2B service provider is one of the core problems we solve is we fill people's calendars with sales calls, right? Or companies. So a lot of companies struggle to fill their calendar with sales calls. And this is a big pain point for them. And it's mainly a pain point because it's difficult to execute. It's not complicated to fill a calendar with sales calls, but it is difficult, right? And difficulty is not always matched with simplicity. So just because something can be simple doesn't necessarily mean it is easy. So this is a major pain point, and it's also tied to a desire, right? Because the desire of the company, majority of people who are in business to make money. And for a B2B company, the way to make money is to attend a sales call, right? And really the purpose of this training is discussing, again, the first principles and the fundamentals when it comes to B2B sales, right? So it's like, it's a loop, right? Because we're essentially helping people do this thing, right? But again, this video is the mindset behind why it works. Why do B2B sales calls work in the first place? Like, that's the point of this video. And again, it's providing value to another business or entity, aka person. And if it's a match, then a connection is going to start to build naturally. Nothing is forced. It's just natural. For example, many of the clients that we hop on a phone call with or on a Google Meet, we'll tell them our value proposition. And I'm just using us as an example because we do B2B sales. Okay, and most likely you probably do B2B sales in some way, right? By us letting them know what results we have been able to achieve. For example, if we are looking to help people fill their calendars, we're going to tell people and other businesses, hey, we've filled calendars with sales calls. Firstly, we're trying to get a hand to raise. Are you interested in that? Is that something you need, right? Is that a current pain or desire, right? So first step is they're going to raise their hand. Great. Now we know who we want to deal with. The next thing we want to do is get FaceTime. Why? Because by letting them know on a call what results we've been able to achieve, if it is a match, they're going to start to engage, right? So obviously, if we send a cold email, they're going to start to engage. Great. That's the first step in the connection building process, right? It's essentially a building of trust. And that's why nowadays they say, it's the trust economy, and essentially, whoever has the most trust will get the most sales and deals closed and whatever. Now, trust is one layer, but ultimately it's just connection, right? Because trust is one pillar in connection. But another part about connection is relevance, right? Again, you're actually either getting them closer to their desire or away from their pain. So it's relevance plus trust, right? When you can have relevance and trust where it needs to be, then you've essentially, created enough connection to make a sale. And a sale, a lot of individuals I speak to, they have like a negative connotation and mindset towards sales, like B2B sales. And they think it's like this stingy thing that you have to feel guilty about by you getting on a sales call, and it's like greed and we want to just take things from them. No, not at all. What a sale is, again, at a fundamental level, is the individual or company agreeing to trade their money for your value. That's all a sale is. So that is a really good thing for them and for you making the sale, right? Because you get to have a profit margin on that. Great. They get to have their problem completely solved. Really great, right? And so it is a fantastic thing to build connections. In fact, I can recall so many times that I've been reached out to, okay? And they have offered me something, and it was a fit, right? Product market fit. So it was a pain or desire that I was experiencing at Acquirely, for example, or maybe my personal life, and they had a track record. There was enough trust there, so it was relevance plus trust. It fitted there, and I was like, okay, I would like to speak to this individual who's representing this company, or maybe they, a loan coach or whatever. I wanted to speak to them. Why? Because it's a lot of value to my life. If I found someone who has high relevance and has solved the problem, and I trust them, of course I want to speak to this individual. Why wouldn't I want to? I feel better as an individual. Now, the company itself doesn't have emotions, so it can't feel better, but me as the CEO and founder running the company, I feel really good. And so I want the company and the representatives of the company to build connections with problem solvers, right? Or rainmakers. Why not? It's literally like the only goal of the company is to grow and to provide more value to others. How can we do that if we stay small? It's not possible. So, cold email, for example, is what we use as our main marketing channel right now for our B2B client acquisition infrastructures that we build in-house for our clients. It works. And it's got nothing to do with the channel. It works on a fundamental level because we're building connection with others, with other entities. That is incredibly powerful. So I guess I'm really making this video because I just see so many companies. I speak to many, many companies, right? Many of them in different revenue ranges. Some of them doing 30 million a year. Some of them doing, 5 to 10 million a year. Some of them even doing over 100 million a year. Some of them under, 300,000 a year. All different revenue ranges. And what I noticed that many of these different companies, right, and all these different revenue ranges, it's mostly mindset. And I can't express enough how many times someone would speak to me and ask me a nuanced, tactical question about what marketing channel to use or something. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if you're asking a question like that, then what that tells me is you don't understand marketing on a fundamental level. And you need to be thinking on a more first principle standpoint, if that's the case. Because all we're looking to do in any company on a marketing standpoint is building connection, right? And again, it's trust plus relevance. So you build trust by having proof, by, in the form of client case studies, real results, and also, quite frankly, conviction. And I don't mean that in a weird, fake way. I mean real conviction. One of the rules at our company, at Acquirely, we do not sell something we have not done before. Period. So if we're selling an infrastructure that can add $150,000 a year in predictable pipeline and sales to our clients' companies, we're only able to sell that if we have clients that are currently producing $150,000 a year from the system we built them, right? So because we do that, by the way, most companies don't do that. They'll sell things that they have not done. But because a company that does only that only sells things that they have absolutely gotten undeniable proof and results with, conviction is natural. And that conviction is on a subconscious level. So that builds trust tremendously, right? And trust is a major, and really conviction is a major pillar for sales, right? And client acquisition. So again, it's those two main pillars, the trust and then relevance. Obviously, it needs to be a fit for who it is you're speaking to. And in terms of outbound marketing, that comes into building the leads list, right? Making sure that you're targeting the right ICP, right? The correct different details within that target customer. And if you can get those two things, it is inevitable. It is inevitable to be able to convert that into revenue. It's inevitable because you have to generate interest. And if you don't, then you've got a problem with your offer. And every single one of these things is solvable. And if you want proof of this, just look at Salesforce. Salesforce is one of the largest B2B companies in the world. And they scaled to the first 100 million a year as a high-ticket software company, which is not easy to sell. They scaled to 100 million a year just with outbound marketing alone. So they would send emails and they would have SDRs. This was 20 years ago. They did that 20 years ago. Okay. So this is a timeless, evergreen methodology to be able to, almost like alchemy, turn a stranger into a buyer. And that's really powerful. So I hope this mindset helps you guys, which is I don't know, again, I just see so many people struggling with the concept of outbound marketing, and they don't trust it for some reason because they think it has to be you think you have to have organic content and major organic traffic to succeed as a business in 2025. Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. This is a timeless approach to scaling a business. It's timeless, meaning it will, no matter what happens in the world in the next 50 years, 100 years, it will not change. And it's because on a fundamental level, you are building connection by increasing relevance and increasing trust. And both of those things you can do without having content, like an organic YouTube following. You can do all of that without paying for Facebook ads. You can do all of that without, any marketing channel. You can do all of that without any of that stuff. You just need a way to engage with someone, right? That is it. And in my opinion, cold email is one of the best ways to do that because we're able to do a ton of research for each lead before we reach out to them, especially nowadays with AI. We're able to do so much lead enrichment that we're able to build more trust and more relevance right out the gate. And that's very powerful. Aside from the fact that it's insanely affordable, right? It's very, very affordable. Right now we're booking calls for a sales call. Each sales call right now, on average, for our clients is like $30 per call, which is crazy. Like, you can't get that on Facebook. And that can launch within 30 days from nothing, right? Which is insane. So yeah, like if you can just get those done. And another thing is, like, people go crazy about like qualification, like how qualified are the leads and everything. Again, it doesn't matter, because that's relevance, right? Relevance has to do with qualification. People go so crazy about like it needs to be 100% qualified and everything. But the thing is, like, it's not about prediction. It's about speaking to the people. You qualify when you speak to them, and if it's a fit, you just keep building more connection with the people it is a fit with. Most of the people, you're not going to know if it's a fit, or not. You're not going to know relevance before you speak to them. So like, I would just implore anyone watching this, if you're trying to scale your business, if you're under 3 million a year and you're trying to scale your business, even under 10 million a year, you're trying to scale the business, all you need right now, aside from good product delivery, good service delivery, make sure your customers are happy. I'm going to say that first and foremost. None of this is relevant unless your customers are happy. Okay? If you need help with that, like, maybe book consulting with us, and we can help you with that side of things. Make sure your customers are happy. That's first and foremost. But after your customers are happy, the second step is just get more of them, right? And so all you need to be doing is just building more connections. So I hope that helps, guys. I absolutely love outbound marketing. I trust you can see from this, but like, yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's alchemy. It's literally turning nothing into gold, and we just turn air into gold by speaking to people, and it's incredible. And so what we do is we obviously assist in that process, and we do the first step, which is get you in front of the person, right? We get them onto the call for you. That's what our system does. But yeah, the magic is what happens after that point. That's the magic. And it's incredible. And it can build companies worth billions and billions of dollars, right? Which is really exciting. So yeah, there's really no limit, guys. There's no limit at all. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of companies and leads that you can reach out to. And so if you're not tapping into this, I feel sorry for you, because it's simpler than you think. It just takes execution. But yeah, I trust after this video you can see it's possible, and it's unlimited scaling potential as well. So yeah, see you guys soon. If you haven't booked a call yet, I suggest just lock in a time to speak with us. We'll do a free one-on-one strategy session with you. And if you're watching this after you've booked your strategy session, make sure you attend, because I think it's going to be really, really great for you guys. And yep, see you guys in the next video.